Have you ever wondered when exactly the attacks from Palestine on Israel began? That question takes us back to a momentous day in the autumn of 2023. October 7th, to be precise. A day that saw a significant upsurge in violence. A day that would mark a turning point in the history of a conflict that has been brewing for decades. On that day, Hamas, along with other Palestinian militants, unleashed a series of attacks on Israel, resulting in 1,200 Israeli fatalities. It was a day of unprecedented violence, a day that brought the simmering tensions to a boiling point. These attacks were not random acts of aggression. They were calculated, planned, and executed with a purpose to provoke, to incite, and to escalate an already tense situation. The stage was set, the players were in place, and the world was about to witness a conflict like no other. Israel, like any nation, sought to protect its borders and its people. Faced with a surge in violence, the Israeli government perceived these attacks as nothing short of acts of aggression. Their response was swift and decisive, yet the mission was clear: to rescue hostages and ensure the safety of their people. In the face of adversity, Israel remained resilient, focusing its efforts on the heart of the issue, Gaza. Their actions, while controversial to some, were defended as lawful by Israeli officials, who stressed that they adhered strictly to targeting only militants and their infrastructure, making every effort to minimize civilian casualties. As the conflict intensified, Israel sought to maintain the delicate balance of self-defense and humanitarian concern. Their strategy was clear. The Israeli government maintained that its actions fell within the bounds of international law, asserting that its primary aim was neutralizing the threat from Hamas militants. Yet, the complexity of urban warfare, especially in densely populated Gaza, made this an arduous task. The line between combatant and non-combatant blurred, leading to an unavoidable escalation in violence. This escalation did not go unnoticed. The world watched with apprehensive eyes as the situation unfolded. Questions on the legality, morality, and effectiveness of military action were raised, triggering a global debate. The escalating tensions between Israel and Palestine were not lost on the global community. Nations across the globe, from the east to the west, began to take notice. Organizations and countries stepped up, offering a helping hand in various ways. Some sent humanitarian aid to alleviate the dire conditions on the ground. Others dove into diplomatic endeavors, attempting to broker peace between the warring factions. These international actors, including the United Nations and European Union, recognized the urgency of the situation. They understood that the stability of the Middle East, and potentially the world, hinged on resolving this conflict. Yet their attempts at mediation at times seemed to fall on deaf ears. The complexities of the situation, steeped in historical, political, and religious disputes, proved to be a significant obstacle. Yet despite all the efforts, the conflict remains unresolved, sparking fears of potential global repercussions. The question now remains, what will happen if this conflict spirals into a world war? This is a daunting thought, but one we cannot shy away from. If the Israel-Palestine conflict escalates into a global confrontation, the consequences could be dire. The world's superpowers, drawn into the conflict by alliances and obligations, could face off in a catastrophic showdown. Economies could crumble under the weight of war expenditures, leading to global recessions. Humanitarian crises could deepen, with refugees fleeing conflict zones in numbers we've never seen before. The international political landscape would be forever altered, with new alliances forged in the crucible of war and old ones shattered. The global community's ability to address other pressing issues, such as climate change, could be severely hampered. As we delve into the complexities of this situation, we must ask ourselves, is the world ready to handle such a